Hi everyone, it's Clyde at Vibrant Soap, and today is one of the first holiday soaps of the year. Well, I made my pumpkin soaps, and I guess that counts too, but this is my winter holiday soap, and of course I'm using white, green, and red, and I'm going to distract you from one aspect of this soap by showing you how I get these thin lines of color in my soap. And one of the big secrets is not to make so much of that color that it overpowers the soap. So I only make a little bit of these colors, and I wanted to get the proportions right. So I looked at a candy cane and I made 2 cups of red and 1 cup of green. If you looked at a candy cane, you notice there's not as much green as there is red, at least in the color, at least the colors of the candy canes that I saw. But what I'm distracting you from is this has got to be one of the messiest pours I've done in a long time, and it's a combination of the batter setting up a little bit gloppy, and I haven't done a sideways angled loaf pour for a long time, but I got it made and I got most of the soap in the mold. And just ignore that part and look at how I got the thin lines of color in the soap. So let's get started right now. Okay, I'm going to be soaping at 76 degrees today. And you can see all this white stuff. That's kaolin clay and some coconut milk. And I always like to blend that before I add the lye the best I can. And I don't think I have to worry about any kind of acceleration at all, because this is candy cane fragrance, and whatever's in the actual peppermint essential oil, it really tends to slow trace down, so I'm not worried. And I'm going to try a hybrid of sort of like a tiger swirl. I forget what you call that when you put it on a tilt. But I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to add a hanger swirl to that to see if I can make some twisted lines like a candy cane. It's an experiment. Let's get this fragrance in there. But it sure smells like a candy cane. Just the beginning of trace there. So let's add my colors. See what I did to the colors, because I know I want twice as much red, but just a little amount. So I mixed up some micas in these little cups. And I want my white. I mix my white with a little bit of warm distilled water. It's a nice creamy white, and I know it's going to turn a little more white when it saponifies. Okay, so let's mix up my other colors with a whisk. This is My Red Obsession by Nurture Soap. It's really, really red color. I love it. Perfect for candy cane red. And this is basic green. Whenever I like just a nice bright green, I usually head toward this basic green by Rustic Essentials. It's like that bright green that you see in candy canes. Because I add a little oil to the micas before I add some of my batch to it, these tend to be a little heavier on the oil, so they stay a little more fluid, and I find that really works well for the swirls I want. Okay, so the trick in this is the pouring of it. Move these out of the way before I spill them. And you can see I've got my mold on a tilt. And I'm just gonna not worry so much about this first pour. It's getting thicker than I thought, but that's really a great consistency. Just a little bit of this red on the edge. I can tilt this a little more. I'm going to do 3 strips of red. See why I need more white. Okay, I'm going to turn this around. Tilt it the other way. Stir this to make it a little more fluid. Making more of a mess than I usually do, but I could have tilted this a little bit more. Then I'm going to just do a tiger swirl. Now I'm just going to get the rest of the white in there. And instead of using my hanger tool, I'm going to use a chopstick. And I'm going to try to do a kind of twisting swirl. Let's just do a diagonal deep, see what happens. It will be interesting to say the least. Okay, now let me do the kind of twisting. Swirl here. That looks like a candy cane. Put it on the diagonal so that it looks like a twist. And use some glitter on this for sure. And that's it. And we'll bring you back for the cut. All right, let's cut this Dead Sea soap. Actually, you hear this by the name of Dead Sea clay, Dead Sea mud. And I just think when you call it mud that it kind of turns people off, and they really shouldn't. It's such a great material to use, the Dead Sea clay. You buy it like a powder, and you basically reconstitute it in your oils before you add your lyes. And I've always loved this soap. And I didn't make a making of because it's basically the same colors. So I'll leave a link to that. Just doing a tag on cutting video of this so you can see. I think I was able to make more water-like swirls in this one this time. I had to work pretty quickly because the clay is very absorbent and there's a lot of hard oils in this, so it makes a really dense soap, and it's heavy. It'll become lighter, of course, when it cures and the water evaporates. But you could really give someone quite a bump in the head if you hit them over the head with it. Not that you would do that, but so yeah, it's really a nice soap. And I'm making two sizes. I made a tall and skinny size to make some smaller trial size soaps. So when you make your order, you can order one of those small bars. They won't last long, so order when they are on the website, which should be in about a month. These also need a cure time to it. Oh, that one's very nice. So I use 3 colors in this, and depending on how the soap cures, it seems like extra colors appear. I had to cut this today because I'm afraid if it got any harder, the wire on my cutter would snap. It was not fun. But this looks very ocean-like. It's appropriate. There are 5 different essential oils, so it smells like that really nice spa smell. And let's see if I can name my essential oils. Eucalyptus, peppermint, lavender, tea tree, and lemongrass. Oh, that looks great. So I really wanted the soap to look like a spa soap. So that's why I just concentrated on blues again. On my blue kick again. I'll cut this one short so that when I cut the smaller sized loaf, you can see that too. Okay, so here's my tall and skinny version. I just made one big batch to make this one at the same time. You can see the signs of gelling in the middle, and that helps to make it even more dense of a bar. Alright, so that's about it. I'm not going to go through this whole loaf and bore you to tears, but I just want you to know that these will be available, and they're a nice handful. Because if you've ever hesitated trying these soaps, like I do sometimes, I'll see a whole bar and I go, what if I don't like it? Well, this is a good size to try and see if you want a bigger bar, but I love it. I think you would too. Alright, so I'll switch off to the peppermint candy soap that I made. Well, that has to be one of the sloppiest pours that I've ever done. Soap was going everywhere, but I was having fun. It's like kids getting messy, that means they're having fun. And I want to show you how forgiving these pours really are. Especially the Tiger Swirl. I'm always surprised that no matter how sloppy they are, they come out kind of cool. So here's the end cut. Nice definition. Creamy white, and a little bit of glitter on top. Smells just like peppermint candy. And the white came out pretty nicely. Nice big bars. I'm really happy with the type of red and green in these bars. What I really tried to get was the proportion of green to red. So we study candy canes in this case. There's more red than green. Well, it depends on the candy cane, I guess. Nice and creamy bar. But I really like these really thin lines of color. So as sloppy as this pour was, you get these little spots of color. And I'm not opposed to that at all. Sometimes I like that as much as the really neatly poured stripes. A lot to be said for randomness. Randomness is my friend. And thanks for watching. I really do like the whole cycle of making the soaps in isolation, because I like creating in isolation. I like creating with other people too, but in this time when you really can't be around people as much, by the time I share the video and get your comments back, it's like it's kind of gone full circle. I get that commentary back from you all. I love that. Thank you. Love hearing you on my Instagram too. So if you haven't checked that out yet, check it out. I pledged to myself when I started Instagram that I would post 2 photos a day, and I've kept that up pretty much, except for when I've traveled sometimes. Didn't have access to internet or Wi-Fi. But I do share things that I see that are inspirational there. And check out the web store as well. That's working out really well. I'm glad I fixed up that website. And subscribe to my channel if you like seeing my videos. You'll get a notification every time I have a new one there. And some people on Instagram ask me all kinds of details about how I made the soap, because I only make a minute-long version of these videos, which is kind of tough to edit sometimes, but I do it, I guess, because I love it. So take care, everyone. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.